USA battling for gold. It's USA. Noah Lyles is going to take the gold. It's silver for Canada.
Noah Lyles was standing in the rain, and Team USA was about to lose again at Tokyo's National Stadium. But then he did something that changed everything. The World Athletics Championships in Tokyo was already historic for Team USA. They had smashed their own record with 16 gold medals, beating the old mark of 14. But there was one problem lurking in the shadows. The men's 4x100 meter relay. You know, that event where the Americans are supposed to dominate, but somehow always find a way to mess up the baton handoffs. Let me take you back to how we got here. The championship started rough for Noah Lyles. The guy who calls himself the fastest man alive got beat in the 100 meters, walking away with just a bronze medal. For someone with his confidence, that had to sting. Lyles later admitted he'd been dealing with depression after his mixed results at the Paris Olympics, where he won 100-meter gold but only managed bronze in his favorite event, the 200 meters. But something changed in Tokyo. Lyles bounced back in a big way, winning his 4th straight 200-meter world title. That tied him with the legendary Usain Bolt for consecutive wins in that event. Suddenly, the swagger was back. Lyles was smiling again, posting about the athlete after party on social media like he already knew gold was coming. Now here's where it gets interesting. The women's team had just finished their 4x100 relay and it was pure drama. Melissa Jefferson Wooden was going for something special. She wanted to become only the second woman in history to win the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 4x100 meters relay at the same championships. The only other person to do it, Jamaica's Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce back in 2013. The women's race came down to the wire. Sha'Carri Richardson got the baton, with Team USA actually trailing Jamaica by a tiny margin. But Richardson dug deep, caught Jamaica's Johnny L. Smith, and held on by just 0.04 of a second. The time was 40.75 seconds, giving Jefferson Wooden her historic triple gold. But the real story was still coming. Fraser-Pryce, the 38-year-old Jamaican legend, had just run her final race. She colored her hair in the Japanese flag colors for this last hurrah, finishing with silver in her 17th World Championship medal. As she crossed the line, you could see the emotion. She was passing the torch to a new generation.
In 2022, Lyles' dedication and refinement culminated in breaking Michael Johnson's long-standing American record with a 19.31 second 200 meter at the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon.
I knew that was coming. I've just been waiting for it for a few months now. Finally got my start down to where I wanted it to. I knew after the semis that it was going to be, today was going to be the day. I looked at the weather and I was like, yeah.
Now the pressure was on the men. Christian Coleman, Kenny Bednarek, Courtney Lindsay, and Noah Lyles stepped onto that rain-soaked track knowing they had to deliver. The weather was getting worse by the minute, and these conditions were exactly the type that cause relay disasters. Coleman took the first leg and did what he does best. He absolutely flew out of the blocks. The lead was immediate and impressive. When he handed off to Bednarek, Team USA was in great shape. But here's where things got scary. Canada's Jerome Blake was flying down the backstretch, eating into that American lead. Worse yet, the Dutch runner in the lane next to Bednarek was swinging his arms wildly and nearly hit him across the chest. Bednarek stayed calm under pressure and got the baton safely to Courtney Lindsay. And here's what separated this relay from all those previous American disasters. Lindsay ran the fastest third leg of anyone in the field. Suddenly, that comfortable lead was back. When Lyles got the baton for the anchor leg, he could see the gap they had built. As he later said, when Christian passed the baton, I knew it was a done deal. I saw the lead we had and it was kind of a relief as everybody did such a great job. I just had to finish the race. But don't think it was easy. Canada's Andre DeGrasse, the guy who won 200 men of gold in this same stadium during the Tokyo Olympics, was charging hard. For a brief moment, it looked like he might actually catch Lyles. The crowd was on their feet as these two superstars battled down the home stretch. Then Lyles did what Lyles does. He shifted into another gear and pulled away, crossing the line in 37.9 seconds. That time was absolutely insane, the 5th fastest in world history and the quickest anyone had run since 2019. The margin of victory was 26 hundredths of a second over Canada, with the Netherlands grabbing bronze in a national record. The emotion was real when they crossed the line. Bednarek, who had just won his 4th silver medal in major 200-meter races, finally got his gold. As he said after the race, "We came here with a job, and that was to win gold, and we did it. We're America. We're the best of the best." For Lyles, this was redemption. After struggling early in the championships, he walked away with 3 medals, that bronze in the 100 men of gold and the 200 men of Mao relay gold. More importantly, he proved something about handling pressure and bouncing back from disappointment. The win gave Lyles his 8th World Championship gold medal, putting him just 3 away from Usain Bolt's record of 11. But Lyles isn't just chasing numbers, he has his sights set on Beijing 2027, where he wants to win a 5th straight 200 meter title. If he does that, he'll stand alone in history, surpassing even Bolt's 4 consecutive wins. What made this performance even more special was how clean the handoffs were. American relay teams have been haunted by dropped batons and missed exchanges for years. At the Paris Olympics, they were disqualified after a bad handover. In Tokyo, they looked like a completely different team. The Japanese crowd got to see something special too. Their home team made it to the final and finished 6th, running 38.35 seconds. It wasn't the medal they hoped for, but the fans went crazy anyway. Team member Yoshihide Kiryu took responsibility afterwards, saying, "My time was the slowest when I checked with everyone just now. If I'd run properly this time, I think I could have gotten a medal. It's my responsibility." Meanwhile, Jamaica wasn't even in the final. The team that usually dominates sprinting had a terrible heat the day before and failed to qualify. It showed just how competitive this event has become. The American success wasn't limited to just this one race. The women also won the 4x400 mini relay, with Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone running an incredible 47.82-second anchor leg. They set a championships record with a time of 3 minutes and 16.61 seconds, which was the 5th fastest time ever recorded. The only relay disappointment for Team USA came in the men's 4x400 mini. Ray Benjamin, the 400 mini hurdles champion, got the baton with a small lead, but couldn't hold off Botswana's Colin Kevinat Shippey. Botswana won their first ever relay gold in 2 minutes 57.76 seconds, with the Americans settling for silver by just 7 hundredths of a second. But that one loss couldn't dampen what had been an incredible championships for Team USA. They finished with 26 total medals, including those record-breaking 16 golds. To put that in perspective, they won more golds than the next 5 countries combined. The relay sweep was especially sweet because it showed American sprinting was back on top. For too long, these teams had been known more for their failures than their successes. Bad handoffs, missed zones, disqualifications. It seemed like there was always something going wrong. Not in Tokyo. The execution was nearly perfect across all the relays they won. The chemistry was there, the technique was sharp, and most importantly, they stayed calm under pressure. For Noah Lyles specifically, this relay gold capped off a remarkable comeback story. He went from early disappointment to historic achievement in the span of 1 week. His confidence never really wavered, even after that 100 menio bronze. As he said, "We all know we are the fastest, we just had to get the baton from start to finish." That quote really sums up the American mindset in Tokyo. They had the talent, they had the speed, they just needed to execute when it mattered most. And when the lights were brightest and the pressure was highest, they delivered. The performance also set up some intriguing storylines for the future. Lyles is clearly motivated to surpass Bolt's record, and at just 27 years old, he has time to do it. The relay teams are clicking at exactly the right moment, with the Los Angeles Olympics just 3 years away. Noah Lyles stunned the world at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. What was supposed to be a routine 2000 menio final turned into a masterclass in sprinting. And Lyles was at the center of it all. With pressure mounting and expectations sky high, the race unfolded like a thriller, leaving fans, commentators, and even the athletes themselves in disbelief. While Lyles was expected to contend, the manner in which he approached and ultimately dominated the race became a lesson in patience and calculated power. He navigated a field of highly talented athletes, including 5 of the previous summer's Olympic finalists, all vying for a world title. The crowd at Tokyo's National Stadium held its breath as the race unfolded, each step telling a story of resilience, preparation, and unyielding focus.
You should be very proud. You should be very proud of what you did then. You ran a great race.
Yeah.
A great race.
Indeed, it was a great race. I mean, being able to come out here in the semi-final and do my thing is pretty incredible. So happy to be here. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Big finish here. He's well back. He's probably 8th into the stretch. Lavelle in front of Tebogo. Gout winding up and winding up. It's Lavelle, Tebogo. Gout gets through to 4th. It's 19.
The race itself was a display of tactical excellence. Brian Lavelle surged ahead in the first half of the curve, showcasing his own emerging talent. Lyles, however, maintained a measured approach, conserving energy for the critical second half. As the runners approached the final 50N, Lyles unleashed a powerful stride, overtaking Lavelle and Bednarik with precise timing. Crossing the line in 19.52 seconds, Lyles secured his 4th consecutive 200 men world title, equaling Usain Bolt's record. His victory was not only a testament to his physical abilities, but also to his strategic intelligence and mental fortitude. I can't wait for 2027 to become the only man to win 5 200 men of titles, Lyles said, reflecting on the significance of the win and his ambitions for the future. This moment represented a culmination of years of effort, overcoming injuries and refining both his physical and mental approach to racing. While Lyles claimed the top spot, Brian Lavelle's performance signaled the arrival of a new generation in sprinting. Securing bronze with a personal best 19.864, Lavelle narrowly outpaced Olympic champion Lascelles Tebogo, who battled a knee issue to finish 4th. Lavelle's achievement marked Jamaica's first men's 200 men of world medal since Bolt's 2015 victory, hinting at an exciting future for the nation's sprinting legacy. Lavelle's emergence introduces a compelling dynamic for upcoming competitions, suggesting a rivalry with Lyles could develop as both athletes continue to push boundaries. Noah Lyles' 4th consecutive 200 men of title reinforces his status as a sprinting legend, with a personal best of 19.31 seconds and an extensive collection of titles across 100 men of 200 men and relays. He exemplifies excellence and consistency. His journey from overcoming childhood asthma to becoming a world record contender demonstrates the resilience, focus, and adaptability necessary to compete at the highest level. The Tokyo victory also underscores the strategic evolution of sprinting. Lyles' ability to assess competitors, manage energy, and execute under pressure highlights the mental dimension of elite sprinting. It was not just speed that won the race, but intelligence, experience, and timing. With Tokyo behind him, Lyles is setting his sights on future milestones, a 5th 200 men of world title in 227 and Olympic gold in Los Angeles in 228. The emergence of competitors like Brian Lavelle and Kenny Bednarik ensures that upcoming races will be fiercely contested, promising thrilling showdowns for fans and high stakes for the athlete. Lyles' continued dominance relies on his ability to maintain physical conditioning, refine race strategy, and manage emerging talent. His preparation and experience suggest he is capable of pushing the boundaries of speed even further. The 200 men of final in Tokyo was more than just another race. It was a demonstration of strategy, patience, and extraordinary athletic skill. Noah Lyles, by finishing in 19.52 seconds and claiming his 4th consecutive world title, has not only tied Usain Bolt's record, but also solidified his legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats. His journey, marked by early adversity, relentless training, and careful execution, serves as inspiration for aspiring sprinters worldwide. As the 2025 World Championships concluded, it became clear Lyles is a dominant force in sprinting, a tactician on the track, and a relentless competitor who will continue to shape the future of the sport. The world now waits to see if he can surpass Bolt in 2027 and etch his name even deeper into sprinting history. You should be very proud. You should be very proud of what you did then. You had a great race. Yeah, a great race. So, happy to be here, and I couldn't ask for anything better. The 17-year-old Australian sprint sensation is facing challenges that go way beyond what happened on the track in Tokyo. While everyone's talking about his semi-final exit, there's so much more to this story that people aren't seeing. So, he's probably run about 20.1. Let's start with what actually went down at the World Athletics Championships. Thursday night in Tokyo, September 18th, and the Japan National Stadium was buzzing with anticipation. Gout was about to run the biggest race of his young life in the men's 2,000-meter semifinals. The conditions weren't ideal. Light rain had been falling earlier, making the track wet, and there was a cool breeze cutting through the stadium. But this was it, his chance to make history as potentially the first Australian to legally break the 20-second barrier at a major championship. When the gun went off, Gout found himself in 7th place as they came around the bend at the 100-meter mark. He was trailing behind Jamaica's Brian Lavelle and Botswana's Letsile Tobogo, the reigning Olympic champion. But then something beautiful happened. Gout unleashed that finishing speed that first made the world take notice of him. He powered down the home straight, moving up through the field with that signature kick. The crowd was on their feet as he crossed the line in 4th place with a time of 20.36 seconds. It wasn't enough to make the final, but what happened next showed exactly the kind of person Gout is. Instead of wallowing in disappointment, the teenager went around to every single runner in his heat and shook their hands. Talk about class beyond his year. Now that time of 20.36 might sound disappointing when you consider his national record stands at 20.0, but let's put this in perspective. When Usain Bolt made his world championship debut in Helsinki back in 2005, he ran 20.60 in his semifinal. Bolt was nearly 19 years old at the time. Gout won't even turn 18 until December 29th. The kid ran faster than the greatest sprinter in history did at his first major championship, and Bolt was actually there in Tokyo watching from trackside as this new generation of sprinters battled it out. But here's where things get interesting with the competition. Gout was up against Brian Lovey won the heat in 19.78 seconds, followed by Tobogo in 19.